Earlier this week, federal housing advocate Marie-Josée Houle released a report on tent encampments across Canada. She described the housing and homeless system in the country as being broken. Houle pointed out on APTN's Nation to Nation that a staggering number of Indigenous peoples are living in the encampments. They make up a majority of those living on the streets in some cities in Western Canada. The NDP's Indigenous Affairs critic Lori Idlout brought the issue to the House of Commons on Friday during question period.
Canada's federal housing advocate confirmed this week that Indigenous peoples are more likely to be forced to live on the streets. This government's lack of action means Indigenous peoples are being intentionally forgotten. In Edmonton, 60% of those living on the streets are Indigenous. In Winnipeg, it's 2/3, and in Saskatoon, it's over 90%. In Nunavut, many tell me about overcrowding because of the lack of housing. Will the minister listen to the federal housing advocate and stop underfunding Indigenous housing?
Hear, hear.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Indigenous Services.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We are taking action to address the tremendous lack of safe, affordable housing and housing supports for Indigenous peoples in urban, rural and northern communities. The For Indigenous, by Indigenous approach that guides our housing strategy will ensure successful approaches for communities in need. Since 2016, we've supported the construction, renovation and retrofit of over 30,000 homes in First Nation communities and continue to work with partners to co-develop a 10-year housing and infrastructure strategy. All levels of government must work together to solve this crisis and continue to push for Indigenous-led solutions to address these gaps. Here, here.